What is up, students? Welcome back to FAB School. I'm T.
And I'm Evan. Today, we are going to be going over the results from the ProQuest Singapore season,
And the heroes that died for their own sins.
as well as the legendary spoilers for High Seas so far.
What we think about the spoilers in general, and the changes to the ban list and LL system going forward.
And we'll wrap it all up with the anticipated impact on US Nats in a few weeks.
So, to kick that off, Florian has been dominating the last couple of weeks of ProQuest season with the changes of different heroes rotating out of the format through Living Legend, and overall just Florian in general being a big powerhouse. Obviously, if you've seen the ban list, you'll know that this will become a discussion point later on. But to start off, Florian has been killing it in ProQuest season, and I think that I happen to be talking to somebody who knows that firsthand, right?
Oh yes, I did win a ProQuest on this Saturday playing Florian. I played the Stack Florian deck. That of course just recently got banned, unfortunately.
For good reason. For good reason.
For good reason. Honestly, it felt like in a lot of my matchups there was not a whole lot my opponent could do. And I think one thing too that we'll get into later is like you don't even have to swing the stick a lot. You could just sit there and make a rune chance and block enough that your opponent will just never deal 40 to you.
And then like this, yeah, the Scepter of Pain just like lined up with the tree sometimes, and that was its best application most of the time, yeah.
For sure, yeah. Like I think most of my opponents like played AB1 into me in the blind, and I'd open like an early tree, and it's just kind of just over from there.
Yeah, if you're able to get that much generation off, and the tree eventually will just become an earth card in your yard for decompose as well, off of the D-reacts. It's just kind of like crazy value that sets you up for this amazing end game. Just explode them. It wins the game in one turn, slightly different than old Viserai OTK.
And you don't even have to actually OTK. Like a lot of the times, you could just do it like you can set up like 10 rune chance like 2 or 3 times, plus a felling or like a ninth blade, and then your opponent just dies.
Yeah, that deck was crazy. What do you think about the deck going forward? I mean, do you think it can exist with the bans that happened?
I don't think I'd want to stack anymore. I don't know. So here's the thing: we'd have to see. They said they're making like a card that like comboed with it well, plus like is a good replacement, right?
What do you
So
think?
he might be in like kind of a rough spot now. To be honest with you, I don't know how much it truly changes for a lot of his matchups. I think it's really only those heroes that can like take him into quote unquote deep water, so like kind of like Jarl or New. But I think outside of those matchups, it doesn't really matter. I'm sure it's also pretty good into Victor too, but
Interesting.
I guess Verdance as well. But like outside of a few select matchups, you kind of don't lose that much equity. I will say it kind of sucks losing a blue Earth block 3.
Let's just jump into the bans discussion since we're kind of already there. So, Classic Constructed, they banned Count Your Blessings, Germinate, Scepter of Pain, and then they unbanned Bonds of Ancestry, but only the reds. So, potentially Katsu back on the menu from Bonds of Ancestry, Florian taking a hit in Germinate and Scepter of Pain, and then some builds taking a hit by the Count Your Blessings. Overall, their like reasoning behind Count Your Blessings seemed to mainly just be that it was like unfun game pattern.
I think Count Your Blessings can be cringe at like an armory level, but I truly like. I think it played a big role when we were testing for Worlds, and I don't think it was that bad. If I'm gonna be honest,
I think it played a like reasonable role in testing for London too. I think it's just played an important role in the existence of FAB since it was printed.
Yeah, I do agree it's cringe. I don't know at the highest level of gameplay, I don't mind it, but get it out. Why not? I think you lose out in like one cool deck, which is about to rotate anyway, which is like CYB new. But I think most other Count Your Blessing strategies are kind of cringe. So
look, man, you don't have to attack me like that.
I don't really mind seeing it go. You're allowed to enjoy cringe decks.
I'm cringe, but I'm free, so
you just have to accept you're playing cringe strategy, which you have. So
yeah, it's like my it's my MO.
Oh no, you have to add like what, 6 more D reacts to your CYB dash deck?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go add healing balms back in and all that stuff, I guess. We're going back full circle on the cringe healing package.
Bonds of Ancestry unban next.
Yeah, right before we started recording, you were playing a couple games of Katsu with just like an anticipated starter list for Katsu. How did that feel?
So I'd like the turns with Bonds of Ancestry felt good, but I think the larger issue is Katsu just feels bad to play overall.
Yeah, we're living in an era of FAB where like the older heroes aren't as prevalent, and that just kind of is in general with any of the heroes. We've had Dash IE at the finishing line for forever now, and it just won't cross the finish line. Bravo Showstopper is a thing of the past. Rhinar is a thing of the never. What else? Dory's been overshadowed by Kasai and other warriors. Like, just all... Azalea, I guess, is kind of fine, but they gave her a power-up with the Armory deck because she was never playable until Outsiders, and then they gave her another kick with the Armory deck.
I don't know. Honest, I think the Armory deck didn't really do much to her kit, to be honest.
What did she even gain from the... I guess the Armory deck made the
that was like Riptide cards.
It was the not Death Dealer version of Azalea better. Sandscour Greatbow, New Horizons Azalea, which is probably a very real deck now, got better from...
I just find it hard to play... I just find it hard to like want to play Sandscour over Death Dealer. Death Dealer is so broken.
You get to play an arrow off the top of your deck sometimes, and it gets an aim counter, and that's the same thing as drawing a card, sometimes better.
Dude, these current Azalea lists are on like New Horizon and the Codex of Inertia.
Yeah, it's nice. Have you ever considered that maybe you're just cringe?
Nah, not me.
Let people have fun.
Sandscour is a cringe way to build Azalea. I think Azalea as a whole is a cringe hero, though.
I have a local here in my area. He is like Azalea main, tried and true. Through every format that since I've known him, he's just played Azalea. He has one list on his Fabrary that he just plays a bunch of games and changes the list, and he just makes changes to the same list over and over again. I think he probably has like 5 digits worth of games on that list, like tens of thousands of games. He'll be sitting at the Armory, like playing our weekly Armory at locals, and then like have a tablet out and he'll be playing a game on Talishar too.
That's wild.
He's just deep on Azalea, and that dude, like, he plays Azalea like a genius. Like, he plays it incredibly well, and it's like a masterclass on Azalea watching him play. But right now, and I think for a long time, he's been on the Sandscour New Horizon, at least since the Armory deck came out, and he's really good at it. He's really smart.
Listen, I've been jamming a few games for the New Horizon Death Dealer one. I think that deck is kind of nice.
Everybody's kind of hyped for the new heroes in High Seas with the Death Dealer New Horizon Marlin. What do you think of that?
Seems pretty good. Although, like, I don't know. One thing that always scares me with like Rangers is you might be fatigued in theory.
Not having an actual weapon that can attack.
Yeah. It could be a triple remembrance angle, you know?
Do we know of any other heroes that are coming out in High Seas that don't have a weapon that attacks or at all?
Gravy Bones, but he might have a weapon. We don't know yet. He's got an Armory deck, dude. Necromancer, they have to add so much for Necromancer to just like be playable currently. And I think there's no possible shot that LSS makes Necromancer like a bad class just because so many people are hyped for it.
Here's the thing. Necromancer seems like it's going to play out a lot like building this board with all these allies and maybe one or two important allies, right? I mean, that's like what ally decks do. We've seen it in Dromai in the past, but it's slightly different because they've decided to balance these ones by making them not block. So they also don't have like Phantasm like allies of the past. So they're harder to deal with. You have to attack them or shoot them with arcane or damage or whatever, right? You have to deal with them in some other way. But the downside is that they don't block, so it's hard to get them into the graveyard if you're trying to cast them for value that way. So a lot of times they'll just end up getting cycled through your deck having a bunch of cards that are like suboptimal cycle cards into the graveyard strategies.
Some 1-card zeros?
I fear there are some 1-card zeros or some like 1-card ones. And this deck currently doesn't have a weapon. So because of all that, I feel like it's going to be really easy to fatigue. I fear that LSS was worried that it would be too powerful if they released it with too much goo. So they've decided to go the other route and just made it unplayable. It might take this armory deck.
I hope they're not drip feeding us the goo. A lot of people will be very sad.
I mean, it's like, this is going to sound bad, but Gravy Bones is like the casual's delight deck, right? Everybody's been so hyped for Necromancer forever that the people who really want to play it are going to play it regardless of if it's good or not. So the people who don't want to play it would be like super concerned if it was too good. So is the balance just like giving these casual players a bad deck?
It might be. I guess they'll eventually release a good one, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, we're going to be on like Gravy Bones Armory deck round 3 by the time it's playable.
T, can I ask one more question?
Yeah, what's up?
How many cards are yet to be spoiled?
A lot. I mean, we're like 90-something cards away. We've got a lot. Taipei is this weekend. I think probably by the time this video...
Plus a whole armory deck, bro. Plus a whole armory deck.
Hang on. We don't know if we're going to see the armory deck at Taipei. So, I mean, Gravy might not be a consideration for Nationals if the argument is that you need the armory deck to make it work, and the armory deck doesn't come out until, like, the day of Nationals. That would be insane. There'd be no testing time for it.
Well, usually they post the list like a week before at least, right?
Do they? I don't actually know how releases work. I usually just let you guys tell me what the best deck is and then ignore it and play something else.
Oh, of course, of course. I don't know. I'm not like trying to be a gravy coper, but...
I want it to be good because my friend Brennan wants it to be good and I don't want him to quit the game.
Jeez. Weak mental, if you ask me.
He's a gravy coper, man. He's been looking forward to Necro forever, and like I fear that there are a bunch of people who've been looking forward to Necro forever, and if it's bad, it might draw a bunch of people away from the game if they care about winning and playing a fun deck.
So that's what I'm saying. They just won't make it bad, and they've even like added in changes to automatically slow him down from LLing.
Those changes are nice. Oh man. All right.
You think they're nice?
We're shifting.
I think the one plus is, dude, their two most cringe decks will LL so quick now. Kano and Azalea. Get him out. Get him out. I will say I'm sad about Death Dealer leaving though. That card's kind of nice.
Am I gonna have to title this episode that you are shooting me in the heart 30 times? First you rag on my Dash deck. Now you're ragging on my Kano decks. Are you wanting me to have a heart attack live on stream?
I'm not trying to. But I am out here spitting facts, unfortunately.
Man. All right. I really want to play more Kano. I like that deck. I'm not sold on it being like totally good.
I've been playing some Kano. So I might be a little hypocritical, but
you've been visiting Hogwarts, dude. How are you gonna be a hater?
I've been visiting Hogwarts, dude. I'm probably year 3 right now, I'd say. There's just like, I will say, like, I miss the books. It was certainly cooler with the books. It's a lot more fair without the books, but there's still some times, like, just because, like, Kindle exists and, like, Will of Arcana, where you can set up these, like, goofy plays where you, like, pitch your Will of Arcana 2 or 3 times or whatever, play, like, a Kindle, and then you Aether Wildfire for, like, 9 into, like, Floodgates and just keep going.
It's so much fun.
I think that can be a little cringe. It is fun to play. But one thing you gotta ask yourself, because, like, I would happily play at an armory, but I don't think my mental is strong enough to, like, play that at, like, say a Nationals, say US Nats, right? I would be so upset if I, like, make it to the top 8, and then, like, have the game, like, basically locked up. Only need to avoid, like, the 2 misses in my deck. Blind Kano, hit Kindle. I'd be so sad, dude.
I need to put that clip of Peter B at the Realm 20K where he's, like, playing his top 8 or top 4 game or whatever, and he's got the win, and he Kanos and looks at I, and he just slumps back in his chair.
For every time that's probably happened to Peter B, I'm sure, dude. Last time I played against Peter B, I think, was like LL Battle Hardened in LA. I have the game like locked up as Lexi. I'm like playing AB1, so I should probably lose. Bro hits like he Kano's blind, or not even blind. He Kano's Vive Ophidia, bottoms, dude, and then like hits blazing.
I think he did something similar to me in the win-in of the last round for that Battle Hardened too.
So as much as I love Peter B, deserved.
You're just a wizard hater. You wouldn't get it. You're not sophisticated like we are.
Peter B is enlightened now. He plays real decks.
Like Verdance.
Nah, dude, I saw him playing. He was trying to. Last I talked to Peter B, he was trying to get me to play Slippy. But instead, I hit him with the, nah, I got Florian built already, so.
That's the tech. You just have it built, so you're like, well, now I gotta use the cards. I paid money for them.
Not gonna lie, I wanted to play a cringe deck. I wanted to play Azalea.
Oh, never gonna let you live that down. So, okay, back to ProQuest season, because we were talking about you winning that one on Florian. How many ProQuest did you play this season?
I played 3.
How many did you win?
3.
That's insane. So you played Aurora in the first 2, right? And then Florian.
Yeah, I think actually, dude, all 3 of my ProQuests, I think I lost like round 5 to an assassin, and then I just dodged them in the top cut, which was so nice.
It's clean. Just win the game.
Just win the game.
I played 1 ProQuest, and I registered CYB Fang. It was pretty close to the Gregor's List from London. And I went undefeated. No, I lost round 1 to Syndra, and then went undefeated out until top 4, where I died to a stack Florian. The first person all day to realize, as stack Florian, that if they just play stack, but with Reaping Blade, then they can't lose. And so I died.
That is unfortunate.
Everyone else was still trying to play the Scepter and everything. So I knew that the only way that I could lose was if they played Reaping Blade, so that I couldn't CYB stack my life, and then you just kill them.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I think playing the Scepter deck, if you space out your like rune chant making stuff correctly, you for sure can get enough rune chants to kill through CYB.
It's really hard. There's other ways to gain life in the deck too. So I mean, the Fang deck mitigates damage really well against a deck that's not doing a whole lot of damage. So if I just played full AB in case they were Scepter, and then if they registered not Scepter, I had no armor for their combo turn, and then also couldn't have the stack of life, so they just get to 50 and kill me.
Dude, I made 60 something in top 8 this weekend, and I think I probably had enough rune chance in deck to make probably 20 more maybe.
That's a lot of rune chance.
Yeah, RIP Florian.
RIP Florian, RIP Aurora, RIP Enigma, RIP Zen. Aurora, Enigma, and Zen hit Living Legend. Florian still technically exists. We just need to see what that list slot card is for high seas to determine if it's playable or not, probably.
Show us Germinate 2.
Germinate 2. So, I mean, okay, they say it's a card that would be crazy good with Germinate. So, what do you think it does?
Blue Earth Mordred Tide.
Blue Earth Mordred Tide. Block 2 or block 3?
I'm praying block 3, but I know it's block 2.
Blue Earth Mordred Tide. That seems reasonable. I think it'll be something to do with interacting with how many rune chants you currently have, but it'll be an Earth card.
That would be kind of neat. My other thing is it has to. It probably has to make some amount of rune chants just because it's it says it's an effective replacement. So I don't know. We'll see. Give it I don't know, 3 days. Yeah,
let's see what it does. That'll be exciting. I think that I'm really excited for Taipei. By the time that this video goes live, today? We're recording. It's Tuesday night. It'll probably be live Wednesday or maybe Friday as Taipei is going on. So by the time you're watching this, we've probably got more spoilers for the set. So we might do a separate video where we talk about the spoilers, like a spoiler breakdown in full, at least like the Majestics and Legendaries, but that'll be depending on how much time we have. Because the crunch for US Nationals is also like a crazy timeline, which I love. I love when it's like quick crunch. You have to get everything done really quick to learn in this fresh, brand new format for an event. But it does mean that we have to dedicate a lot of time towards it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this.
You are
I
or
know
are
a
not?
lot of people. I am. I know a lot of people dislike this, but
I do think that it's worth saying that we are privileged in the position that we are in, where we have a really good team that can help us out and people to bounce ideas off of. Even our non-US teammates are going to be helping us jam for Nats to make sure that we can get an optimal deck for US Nats. And we are like in a privileged position where we can afford to overpay for cards the week of, or we have connections to get them where we don't have to overpay. So we are at like a higher seat than a lot of people. But even with that, I can remember playing in week 1 Magic events when I was broke as shit, like $10 in my bank account, and I still found ways to make it work with going to these events and playing week 1. And like those were always my best performances, were week 1 not playing mono red.
yeah, I don't know. Like, I do think getting product might be a problem, but like, I don't know, man. Just ask your homies, dude. Y'all don't got friends?
That seems like a bit of a rough generalization, but also there's like
I do
so many
generalization.
there's so many pre-release events. There's so many, like, Star City will be at Nationals because it's their Nationals. There'll be, I think, 9
Tons of
vendors. It's like 8 or 9 vendors in the room at Nationals. Somebody's gonna have stuff. You might have to pay vendor price for it at the event, which is usually like a 10 to 15% markup, but most of the time they'll haggle with you anyway. And like, I think the scariest part is going to an event and not having all of the cards, which is definitely like concerning. I like having all the things in hand before I get there. But with these release events, you don't always have that as an option, and that's just something that happens, but you're probably going to be able to find it in the room from somebody.
Yeah, for sure. Ask your locals. That's the best move.
Ask your locals, keep an eye on pre-release. You can probably borrow cards from some of your locals that open them, even if they open like they open the gold-baited hook, and you're like, yeah, I want to play a pirate at Nationals. And they're like, well, I'm not going to Nationals, but I want to keep the hook. You can be like, hey, can I just borrow it? You can probably borrow cards from your locals more than you think. People are friendly. We have a good community. FAB's a great game. We've curated a great community of players for the most part. So, like, ask your friends, make new friends, make friends with your locals, talk to people. It's human nature to help each other. So reach out to people that you think you might not know as well as you actually do. Speaking of high seas,
we gotta talk about these legendaries.
Let's talk about some high seas legendaries. I said we would do another video later where we talk about Majestics and legendaries, but we have 4 legendaries right now that we're going to talk about in case we don't get around to that video for whatever reason. They are Polycranka, Sea Lace Sarong, Gold-Baited Hook, and Dead Threads. So let's start with the biggest bird, Polycranka.
He's half a card, right?
Yeah. Because, like, you can just tap him to crank, and then if you're playing Puffin, which you are if you're playing this card, then you have done one of your cranks, you stay even on action points, you are halfway to drawing a card with your hero power. It seems fine. If there's probably going to be some way that you can bounce this into being a companion again into being perched instead of being an ally. So I could see this being half of a card multiple times in a game possibly. And there's probably some interactions that I just haven't seen yet, or that we don't have access to with the way the spoilers lined up yet, that this card I anticipate is going to be more important in the deck than we think.
I just realized he untaps. I think it might actually be kind of broken. Like if your opponent doesn't attack it, the bird might be busted, actually. Like, I think a lot of decks might have a very tough time defeating the bird.
Yeah, but it is crank. So if you cranked it whenever you do that, whenever it enters, then you're not getting... It's going to die. You just need to play ways to put extra counters on it.
Does it die? It didn't say it does.
It has crank.
Does that necessarily mean it dies?
I just assumed this died.
No, no, it sticks around. That's what I'm saying. Like they have to kill it. It's a dude. He's got one
Oh,
life.
this card is way better than I thought it was. I totally thought that just because this had cranked that it died.
No, 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 no.
Oh, this card's broken.
I guess it has crank because they didn't want to give it go again. Well, I guess it has crank because it's like interaction with the hero ability.
Yep, I totally thought that
It
this
better-
thing
better
died
go
at the
again.
beginning of your next turn.
No, like Florian might have a tough time with this. Like it's 3 life against Florian probably. If they got the blade. Like Azalea probably has a very tough time killing the bird.
Oh, this card's insane. Yeah, we need to see what the rest of the hero does just to make sure that it's playable. But I mean, this is like crazy
Bird
value.
seems very good.
Yeah,
Bird seems legit.
this seems pretty good. I'm glad you said something because I was totally looking at this being like, yeah, I mean, it's like fine, it's half a card once. But you're right. This could potentially be half of a card like 9 times.
Dude, you know how many cards that is? 4.5. So
Busted.
that's busted. Alright, next up. The hook.
Yeah, let's go over to the hook. This is the generic pirate equipment. Sorry, this is a pirate equipment. It is not generic. You like tap it to make your next pirate attack steal a gold on hit, or if they don't have a gold, then it makes a gold on hit. And then if you use that effect, then if you don't make a gold that turn, you lose the hook. And it's battle worn 1. So I mean, no matter what, you can block with it once. It's 1 life, and then you can do all these things.
Card seems good.
If you have other ways to make gold, then you can just tap it on turns you've already made a gold with the potential of making an extra gold. That seems totally
Even
fine.
then, like with a lot of the spoilers we've seen so far, like with some of the cannons on like the air, like the big harpoons, like you can make your card hit. Like a lot of these cards have like a lot of evasion.
Yeah.
Well, overpower action.
You can do this on an ally too, right? In Gravy.
Yes, it appears that way.
You
think.
can make your Humperdinck make a gold on hit.
Your who is that the 11?
Yeah. You're not a
Dude,
Humperdinck
he's a
enjoyer?
big un. He is a big in.
He's a big fella.
Honestly though, after reading him, no, I'm not. He costs too much, dude.
That's true. Man, Gravy. It's right back to where we said. It's just like without a weapon, it's so fatigable, I think. I don't know. I'd be happy to be wrong because, like I said, I'm also rooting for Brennan.
Cool,
But
it's cool. Yeah, gold bait is looking good. I'd give this like probably at a pirate deck if you like don't have a battle worn 2 gloves. Probably like an A- card, I'd say.
rated out of 10.
Out of 10, bro. All right. I give it like an 8.
An 8. That's really strong.
An
Okay.
8.
I was thinking 7, but that might be because I worked
7?
around the Magic community for too much.
All right. I'll give it a 7. An 8 was maybe a little too. Well, I don't know. I'm hoping it's an 8.
Situationally, Poly could be like a 9. I think on average it's like a 5.
I'd say these are an 8 then.
Okay. All right.
They block 1.
Dead Threads. This is the tunic replacement for Necromancer. You gain a mana, but only if an ally's been put in the graveyard this turn, and it's Blade Break 1. And so, like, if that deck is cycling allies, or you can do it whenever an ally dies. So it's got some applications.
Yeah, it seems pretty legit. Yeah, I would say it's probably like as good as the 12-petal Kasaya.
Whoa, that's big.
I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but it seems like you're gonna be doing like a lot of looting in Gravy. You might be able to get more activations out of this than you could the Zen chess piece. So
Yeah, that's fair. The cool thing is about this is that it has the extended art cold foil, and going forward, if a legendary has an extended art version, whenever it's gold foil, it'll be printed with the extended art. So that means more expensive EA golds on the horizon.
that is exciting.
Don't sound too excited about it.
I mean, I don't know, dude. Golds are like cool, but I think it's nice that there will be like less duds now when you open the gold foils.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Cause like, dude, I literally I'm a always open gamer, and dude, I've been convincing Sean to open his recently. Dude, I've seen that man open just straight garbage.
The last one he opened was Kabuto at the Pro Tour, right?
That one's like fine, but kind of a stinker still, you know.
Yeah, I mean, compared, Jacuzzi opened the Jarl arms, so.
Also, low key a stinker. There's like there's not a ton of good ones to be honest.
Dead Threads, 1 to 10.
1 to 10, I'm giving it a 9.
We are really high on these legendaries, huh?
I believe this card will be very good.
All right. Sea Lace Sarong.
Instant tap. Turn a blue arrow in your arsenal face up. It gets going in this turn.
And also Blade Break 2.
Oh, yes. I think it seems good. I'd like to see what new blue arrows we get. Like, I would imagine they probably print some good Ranger blue arrow. That's like generic Ranger.
Yeah.
Or at least I hope.
That could be true. We've also seen quite a few rare Go Fish arrows so far that are blue. They're like 2 for 4s that block for 3 with an on hit.
Yeah, the harpoons seem like mid. I don't know. I'm not into like the whole harpoon plan.
Yeah, the cannon overall seems pretty weak, but
I will say, I mean, it's probably worth looking at options at once Azalea goes, because I would imagine she's probably gonna LL pretty soon, and that also means death to their LLs. So.
Yeah, what are we going to do whenever all these old heroes LL 17 times faster because they get a 1.5 now instead of 1 point?
I know. Well, okay, Azalea's getting real points.
The sky is falling. Twitter told me so.
I saw some guy playing about that on Rhinar. I'm like, what are we doing?
Oh,
Tell
yeah.
me what the last time you've seen Rhinar win something is.
Calling San Jose. It was Chandler. That was the last time, right?
Here, hold on.
I think so.
Right. Actually, okay, Rhinar got 5 ProQuest wins, which means like...
Whoa! That means he would have had like 20 points instead of 15.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
What does that put him at? Like 130 now?
You know what? I saw that tweet too. That means we should never play Rhinar ever again. You can never play your fun deck. Just like how I will never play Dash again. I don't know. That seems like a bad take to me. I feel like a lot of card gamers are like... I saw another reply that was very real, and it was like, card gamers are privileged because the sky is always falling, or something like that. It was some quote tweet on that tweet, but it made a lot of sense to me. That might be a hot take. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it matters, truthfully. I say get these heroes out. There's like way too many.
Yeah, we're getting to the point where we're like approaching like too many cards, and we want to play the newer heroes. Like, I think 2 years is a good amount of time for a hero to be legal. And I think that's really all they're trying to press for. When we still have heroes in the game that have existed for 5-6 years at this point, that's like a bit too long. And you don't want to like starvo them because you don't want to like inject them with a bunch of crazy cards that make them way too good so that they LL. You don't want to like Lexi them. But you also just like want them to die like naturally. So if they've been around for too long, they'll trickle out eventually. It's still going to be a slow bleed. I don't think that it's going to be anything crazy.
Yeah, most of them are like, a lot of the heroes are like low-key unplayable.
Yeah, I think that's just a problem with this game is that, and I don't even think it's a problem. I think that's just design of the game. I still think this is the best card game I've ever played, and it's not close.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that.
I feel like people are just like so eager to complain because they want it to be exactly what they think, like whatever they think is right. And it's so hard to balance a game, to design a game this good, to make a game with such a welcoming, like learning pattern environment that people like take a lot of things for granted. They don't see all the good things that LSS are doing. They don't have rose-colored glasses for this game. They just like get aggressive every time they see one thing that they might not like.
Yeah, that's cringe, honestly.
It's cringe. Quit being cringe. Enjoy the game, have fun, enjoy the heroes you want to play them until they're gone, and then you'll get a replacement hero that's probably just as fun, and you are just a hater, so you won't even try it.
Exactly.
The last thing that we really need to touch on is Taipei. We need to go back a little bit to Taipei, because there's going to be a lot riding on this Taipei weekend for how Nationals shapes out, like what we will or won't know at Taipei, like the Gravy Bones Armory deck.
I'm sure they'll reveal everything, and then the Talishar people will be hard at work, putting the cards in the Talishar, and then you'll do a little test. Or, like, honestly, dude, worst comes to worst, get out there in the trenches on Tabletop Simulator,
Simulator. Whew. Ugh. It's been
My bad.
Years. One big thing that I definitely think that people don't appreciate enough is that, guys, go thank the Talishar devs. If you're not in the Talishar Discord, join the Talishar Discord, or reach out to them on Twitter, wherever. Tell them thank you. They put in so much work every set release to making sure that we have access to these cards in a quick timeline so that we can be playing the game and enjoying the game. Thank your Talishar devs. Thank your Runaways devs who put together the draft channels in Runaways, because that also gets definitely underappreciated. Thank your LSS employees when you see them at events. Thank the people who bring us this game. This game is great. It's really cool. I love it. I know that most of you love it. Thank the people who help bring it together and make us able to play it.
On God.
One last thing. What do you think is going to happen at US Nats? What wins?
Me?
I didn't say who wins. I said what wins.
Dude, I don't know. This is such a loaded question. And
yeah,
also,
of course it is. It's way too early.
It's way too early. It's truly way too early. What do I think wins? In my ideal world, it's freaking Dio. I love that deck. We're Coggin.
Coggin and Poggin, dude.
Exactly. What do you think wins, T? What's your prediction?
Week one format? I mean, some dumb aggro deck probably. Whether it's Syndra or Katsu or one of the new things, if there's a super aggro Marlin, I don't know. So something stupid aggro.
Yeah, I would believe that. I think truly the correct answer is someone who does well at draft will win this.
We can rule out anyone who registers Wizard then, right?
Most likely.
I fear I will register Wizard and I will perish in draft.
Better hope not. All right, and with that great piece of knowledge, I think that'll wrap up this class.
Yeah, I think that's all for this session. So thank you for joining us. Don't forget to comment, and subscribe.
Class is dismissed.